Tonight's guest has tried to kill James Bond. He's been in hot pursuit of Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara. Now he's switching sides, trying to save the world. We'll be right back with Joaquín Cosío in tonight's Spotlight On.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Well, welcome everyone to tonight's Spotlight On interview, and welcome Mr. Cosío. How are you doing this evening?
Very fine, Michael. Miguel.
Miguel, yeah, we were talking earlier. You're from Mexico. I said my Spanish pronunciation is going to be tested tonight. I told you that my Spanish, yo hablo español poquito. I know enough to order at Taco Bell, quesadilla con pollo, con queso,
Guacamole.
and guacamole. So that's what we have this evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
As I said in the intro, you played good guy, you played bad guy.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy most? Do you enjoy honing into one of those characters more than the other?
Yeah, the play is what I want. You know, the acting is what I wanted. Obviously, if you look my face, you know why I all the time play bad guys. You know? But I love to play everything, every kind of papers or roles.
Yeah, you have such a very dynamic background in what you've done. You grew up in Mexico.
Yeah.
At 17, started stage acting a lot in theater. Have done over 1,000 live performances, and that's really, you said, at the heart of what you enjoy.
Yeah. I love to. I began to working in theater when I was so young, but later, almost by accident, I started to work in movies.
Yeah.
And then my life's changed absolutely. I love to play theater. Is a great art, is what I think. But the movies is so funny. I don't know. I love to play both.
I was gonna say, what is it about you? You said you like the art of theater, and certainly the storytelling, I think, and just the feeling of being on stage.
But yeah, the theater is physical. You have to breathe. You have to, the people have to hurt you. You understand my English?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yes. And when you are on a stage, your body is very important because it's telling something.
Yeah.
A lot of
the
things.
the nonverbals.
Yes.
Are just as important as what you say.
Yeah, and you have to have a voice, a big voice for the people, because the best of the theater is you do it with your body and your tools. You don't need a micro. You don't need. You are only in the stage in front of many people, and the people has to believe you. And then it's very different to play in a movie, to act in a movie, because in a movie is if you are playing in a dollhouse, everything is real, but in the theater you have to imagine everything.
Yeah, and in the theater, obviously, live performance too adds another angle where it's not just, cut, let's do it again.
Yes.
You have to know everything and be on top of it and be able to improv.
Yes, of course. Yes. If you have a mistake, you have to improve, and you have to find a solution immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy improv. It's fun to be able to be put in that spot and to be able to have that feeling almost on edge.
Yes.
A little bit. Well, what you're really coming out with now is The Strain.
The Strain, yes.
Season 3 premieres Sunday, August 28th, excuse me. And you're on kind of the good team. You're a survivor in that. Talk about how you kind of got introduced to that project.
Well, I was in my house, in my home in Mexico one day, and suddenly my phone ringing. I hung up, and then someone told me, "Hey, Joaquín, are you Joaquín?" "Yes." "Hello, how are you?" "Who are you?" "I'm Guillermo." "Guillermo?" Yeah, Guillermo del Toro." "How are you?" what? Excuse me?
Just Guillermo del Toro giving you a call because why not?
Why not? Yes. Oh, Guillermo, how are you? Hey, what are you doing now? Are you working in something? No. Wow, what? I want you for a show with me. Do you want it? Yes, of course.
Let's say, what is the reaction time from Guillermo del Toro offering you a role to you saying yes? Less than a second?
Yes.
It's got to be less than a second. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, very well known for a lot of his shows, writing and directing. I mean, what was going through your mind when you got that call?
Oh my God! Well, I was in that moment. I was really busy working so hard, but when he asked me, "Hey, are you working? Are you busy?" No. I'm
The schedule just freed up.
Absolutely. What do you need? Yes, I want to. Come on. How are you, cabron? How are you? Very good. Okay. How is your English? Good. I worked in several movies in US, and the English never has been a problem.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine. Okay. Then my producers are going to call you soon, and then the call ends, and I told to my wife, hey, Guillermo del Toro, call me. Hey, really? Yes. And then I in that moment, I didn't know how he got my number and how he called me.
Yeah.
And then he was the producer of one of the movie, the Thin Yellow Line.
Yep.
He's one of the producers, and he saw my work in that movie, and then later he called me for the role in The Strain.
Now, had you heard of The Strain at that point? I'm not sure how, because we're going into season 3. It's a couple of years old. Had you heard of The Strain? Did you know of it?
Yeah, I heard about it, but not a lot. Yes, I heard the work of Guillermo. Obviously, Guillermo is one of the most important Mexican directors, and I heard about the show, but I heard about their books also.
Yes.
And about the story of vampires, but I don't read the books. But when he told me about the show, immediately I was looking for what The Strain means. And then I was and the thing that I did is what role I'm gonna play. And then I found the Silver Angel, and I thought maybe this is the role because he's the only Mexican in the story.
It's interesting because you mentioned kind of the books, and a lot of people probably don't know the history of The Strain, where Guillermo initially pitched it around 2008, and they said no. They wanted, I think Fox at that time wanted more of a comedy, and so he actually teamed up and wrote the 3 books. Yep. And then as soon as those were kind of written, really it came out that, I mean, a lot of people wanted it. A lot of people wanted kind of to do more of that project. And obviously they said about season 1 is book 1, which is The Strain. And then season 2 and season 3, season 2 is... or book 2, sorry, is The Fall, and that is seasons 2 and 3. And then they're hoping to do 5 seasons. 4 and 5 will focus on the 3rd book, The Night Eternal. And in watching The Strain, it's creepy a little bit, obviously, with what it is. But I thought, Del Toro said he wanted to show it as a reality, but a reality that is stylized. And I think that's definitely shown in The Strain, where even picking up in season 3, it's only 23 days in.
Yes.
From the first incident.
Yeah. This what I think about it is not the story changed a little between the book and between the TV show. It's a little different. But, it's different. The media now is the action has to change, But in my case, obviously, to be a part of this amazing show it was one of the best experiences in my life, in my professional life, because the show is a TV show, but Guillermo and the other producers are doing the show like a movie, you know, and then the experience is very different. Is the studios are amazing, absolutely, and it's another it's a big experience for me.
Talk about your role in there. You kind of play the father figure to Gus, who is played by Miguel Gomez. Talk about what that is like. Kind of talk about your character.
Ángel de la Plata.
Yes.
Ángel de Plata, or Silver Angel. Well, it's very interesting. What I can tell you about it is it's the only Mexican character in the stories. That's what I have to tell about it is Guillermo loves Mexico, you know, and it's very amazing that you find in a story that happens in New York.
In New York City, yeah.
New York City, with millionaires, politicians, policemen, scientifics. Suddenly appears one Mexican old wrestler. You know, it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's part of what I think is part of the love that Guillermo has to Mexico.
The passion that he has
Yes.
to
Yes.
both the Mexican films as well as American films, and being able to interject a character like that into this series.
Yeah, and this Mexican wrestler has a lot to do with a Mexican wrestler, a real Mexican wrestler named El Santo. He's a very popular wrestler in Mexico, and Del Toro Guillermo works. The background of the Angel de la Plata is very similar to the background of this real Mexican wrestler. And it's amazing how Guillermo brings this character in New York, and it's a hero, a Mexican hero, an old wrestler champion who rediscovered that he could be a wrestler again. And he suddenly becomes a hunter of vampires again.
It's very, similar. Even when I was watching a little bit and takes place in New York City, is like I Am Legend with Will Smith, where he's fighting and it really is. Like I was saying, season 3 takes place about 23 days in only. So season 1 and 2 cover 22, 23 days. And facing an uphill battle, a pretty uphill battle in trying to combat this disease. And that's where I like where, Guillermo del Toro said he's tried to have it be a reality. And it would spread, something like that would spread very quickly. And it'd be a big uphill battle to try to combat that.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Angel de la Plata is, he was a champion in Mexico, but he had an injury during a movie, and then he ends his days like a dishwasher in New York, and then he lives in New York. He's poor and unforgotten, and he works like a dishwasher in a restaurant, an Indian restaurant, and then he met with Gus Elizondo, the role that is played by Miguel Gomez, who is a great actor.
Absolutely.
And then Miguel discovered, or Gus discovered, that he is the champion, the Mexican champion.
Kind of found out his history.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Interesting.
And then the story of Angel de la Plata changed. Absolutely. He became a hunter vampire.
So you talked about when you got that call from Guillermo. What is it like working with Guillermo del Toro on set? Is it kind of what you had thought? You were able to just trying to soak up knowledge as much as you can? What is it like?
No, it's really funny. It's so serious. He's so serious, no? But he works so it's funny all the time. But he's so strict. Strict is the word.
Yeah.
He's so strict. You have to do what he wants.
He's focused.
Yeah, he's very focused. Yes, and but the experience is amazing because he's a great director. He knows what he wants, and he told you very clearly what they need.
For a show like this, obviously knowing, I mean, you're looking at, this is season 3. It's gotten good reviews in seasons 1 and 2. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it was roughly about 75 or 80% approval. That has to feel good too, knowing that you're coming into a project like that is established and has that history that, you know, people like it, and knowing that it's going to go for 5 seasons, that has to feel good going into something like that.
Yes, of course. I'm so happy. Absolutely. You know? It's I never thought that I could work in a show like this.
Why do you say that?
Because it's first, I don't work in USA. You know, I basically work in Mexico, and it's one of the biggest shows now in the American television. And obviously my English is not the best, as you can see.
It's not bad.
And then I never thought about it. And it was a big surprise.
Until you get the phone call.
Yes.
You never know. You're talking about do work in Mexico a lot. You work in America doing these kind of things. You've done the Bond movies, done the Bond movie Quantum of Solace, did, you know, Hot Pursuit with Reese Witherspoon, done, you know, other ones. Do you feel is compelled to kind of continue to do both? Obviously, growing up in Mexico, I'm sure you have, just like Guillermo has a passion, I'm sure you have that same passion to continue the films there. Do you feel that passion there as well as trying to do some in America as well? What is that trying to do both like?
Yep. Obviously, if I can, I'm continue doing both. But obviously, the stories that I want to talk is, of course, in Mexico. But the American movies is another kind of work for me. I'm so happy because I worked with most of the best American directors, like Oliver Stone, like Mark Foster, like Gore Verbinski, The Lone Ranger. And I worked also with great actors, not like Johnny Depp, like Robert Duvall, like Sofia Vergara, and Reese Witherspoon.
Absolutely.
And obviously, it was a great experience for me. You know, it's a big, and I what I think is I could grow up in doing American movies, and I hope my English will be better.
No, yeah, and even saying you didn't even start in movies until you were around 40.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to hear, obviously, your success. A lot of actors nowadays, you think kid actors, they're starting as kids. These kids who are, you know, in their teens or even earlier starting on shows and have been in film for so long that it's completely contrast to your story of starting at 17 in theater, starting in movies at 40.
Yes. I'm a lucky guy and a lucky actor. I'm a lucky Mexican actor.
Little bit of luck. There's a lot of skill thrown in there as well. I got to ask you, so you were in, I'm a huge Bond fan. So I remember, you know, the general in Quantum of Solace.
Yes.
And, you know, did you ever think you would be starring in a Bond film?
No, never. No. When the casting agency called me for this cast, I told them, no, I don't want to do it because I don't speak English and I don't know what that movie is. They don't tell me about it's a James Bond movie.
Okay.
It's just a casting in English. No, I don't want it. Thank you so much. Come on, please. Well, I went to do it and I read it. I don't memorize. I don't prepare anything. I just read it, and 3 weeks later they called me. Hey, you got the role. What's wrong? The James Bond role. Wow. Really? Yes, yes. And then I remember, okay, what I thought is a bodyguard or something like that. You know, the casting is just a short scene.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of role is. And then what I thought in that moment is, well, a bodyguard or something like that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I received a mail, and then okay, you have to come to London next week or something like
Yeah.
that. And then another surprise for me. What's that? And my English is bad now. In those moments are worst. Doesn't exist. I didn't speak English. Nothing. But I had a dialogue coach, and I worked so hard with the English.
And I think it fits the character too.
Yeah.
In there as well.
Yes. An Hispanic guy, a Bolivian general, no. But I worked so hard with the English, and well, the adventure began. You know, I flew to London, and then I remember the first interview with Mark Foster. I went to his trailer, and then he speak a lot, and I didn't understand nothing. I just say, yes, sir, yeah, okay. If I see his face happy, right. But finally, what I think is, if you need to communicate something, you don't need the language. You have another ways to communicate. You know, it's my experience because I have a lot of movies, and my English is not good, but I never have been a problem.
Yeah. Do you think that comes from even your history on stage, where you have so much nonverbal that your communication is not just what you're saying, but how you're saying it and the motions that you're using?
Yes. Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know what happened but the director told you something, and you understand what they need, or maybe you have to understand what they want. You know, it's another maybe an instinct. Instinct. You know, that I remember when the General Medrano in Quantum of Solace, he has died. It's the only moment when Mark Foster talked to me, and he told me something that I didn't understand. Okay, oh my God. Okay, what were he say a lot of things in English, and I didn't understand. But I don't know how something is. Okay. The way that I'm gonna die, the general is gonna die. Okay, and I
just
did
picked it up.
Yeah, I did it. I put my body in the ground, and I did it. But I don't know what kind of key I
noticed or picked up on.
Yes, when he told.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been. I'm really lucky. It's the only word that I can tell you.
Yeah.
Or how I can explain my career. You know, because to work with Oliver Stone, to work with Benicio del Toro, to work with Johnny Depp, to work with come on.
Yeah.
I never thought.
You never thought, obviously, when you started at 17 on the stage, that this would be the future.
Yes. My life is so lucky. Well, what I think is obviously my image, my
look.
My look, yes, is not common. Maybe that helped me so much.
Absolutely. Before we move on to talk about, you got a lot of projects. But I got to ask you, who is your favorite Bond? You worked with Daniel Craig. Yes. Do you think Daniel Craig is your favorite Bond? Is you a little prejudiced having worked with him, or is there someone else?
No, I think Sean Connery, he inventa.
He was the first.
Yeah, he was the first, and he created the Bond. But Daniel Craig is the real James Bond for our times, is what I think. You know, he is the James Bond of this moment. His face he is not really handsome, but he is very viril, viral, viral,
Rugged?
yes, and he represents our times.
Yeah.
And I work with him, and he is a very good actor also.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. He's so nice in the stage, in the set. Well, like a British, you know. But I like so much his work. He works. The stunts works so hard, but he works with the stunts, and I liked the.
That's one of the things I appreciate about him, and I have him as my number 2 Bond. I have Sean Connery as number 1. Like you said, he invented the role. He was the main guy. But I like him because I think he, like you were saying, he is rugged. And that he seems to not be just a suave guy. I think that was Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
His role was not as like down to earth, and having to really kind of get his hands dirty sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think Daniel Craig does that really well for the Bond character. Like you're saying, the Bond of our age, where that's kind of what you expect. Because they still are a soldier to an extent.
Yeah, and his work as an actor is very good because he works inside the James Bond. You could see the mind of the James Bond mind, and it's very different because the other James Bond are a little unreal, and Craig is real. He lives the moment, and you believe him.
Absolutely.
And the bad guys hit him, and it hurt. He feels pain,
Yeah.
And the others Bonds never feel pain.
Yeah.
And
They were almost like, oh, look how good I look in a suit.
yes,
Not necessarily look how good I look when I'm, down in the dumps
yes,
to an extent. Well, yeah, that's obviously very interesting. Got a lot of some projects coming out, and one of them that actually you also work with Guillermo del Toro is La Delgada Linea Amarillo. Amarillo. There it is. La Delgada Linea Amarillo.
perfecto.
Which is the thin yellow line. Another project, and that one has done very well at film festivals. It's been released at film festivals. Has won 4 different film festivals awards. I think 8 in total awards.
Yeah,
Talk about that project.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie. It's very. It's not a big movie. It doesn't have effects. It's about just five men that works painting the line over the highway in Mexico, the line that divide in two ways the highway, and there are 5 poor guys. No, they don't have work, and like a lot of people in Mexico.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, and then they work so hard, and they become friends. And it's a very emotional movie. It's not about fight, no violence. It's just 5 guys working in the highways of Mexico with the hard sun over them and the relation that grow between them. And then the script was really good, very poetic. And the movie I saw the first time that I saw it, I watched it, I really, it's very emotional. You cry finally, and you feel you laugh at the same time, and it's a good movie, and the cast is very good.
I feel like it's one of those things in watching a little bit of it. I feel like it's something that a lot of people can relate to. Everyone, I feel like, has worked one of those jobs where it's kind of the opportunity that presents itself. It's an opportunity. You don't have a lot, but you have this opportunity, and you kind of create that brotherhood.
Yes.
And a lot of people in their working conditions. I remember I worked in a factory for 3 summers when I was in college, and it's an opportunity. It's not great work,
Yes.
but it's work that pays, which is something when there's nothing. And it is that brotherhood and that relationship that a lot of people find in those situations.
Yeah, this is the story of the thin yellow line. It's a small story and so a short movie is what I can say, but it's very emotional and so interesting. And Guillermo is one of the producers of that movie, and it is going to be the premiere in September in Mexico.
Yes. I'm going to say, yeah, it's done the kind of the film festival circuit, has won best screenplay at a couple of best director, and I can see what you're saying. The emotion really was high in that, and you can tell that of just, you know, the highs and the lows, and even I'm sure the sun beating down on people kind of makes those emotions come out a little more. And just a really good story.
Yeah, and there I have to tell you about one duck.
Yeah.
The movie appears in the movie one the little dog. How do you say a dog? But
like a goose or like a
perrita, una perra.
Female dog.
A female duck.
Yes. Female duck.
Yes.
Okay.
He works so nice. I hope you could see it, and the dog plays the amazing role. Yes, and it's another ingredient.
Oh yeah, the dog where he has the there's a scene in there where he's even like pushing one of the machines to paint the line.
Yeah. And then this ingredient, the dog, makes the movie very poetry, you know, very emotional. It's a beautiful movie.
Absolutely.
And Celso Garcia, the director, is a young director from Guadalajara. Guillermo del Toro, he is from Guadalajara also, and Guillermo del Toro knows the script, and he told with Celso, hey, I could produce your movie, and they do it.
Yeah. Something like that obviously is, you know, you go from where we're talking about Bond, which is a huge budget film, to that one, not so much. Do you feel like you're able to be more creative, maybe in like the thin yellow line? You're able to kind of maybe have more say in your character, and you feel like you're able to open up more?
No. What I think is the same. The acting, the play, the work acting that you do in a movie is the same. It's what I learned in working in London or working here in New Orleans or working in Mexico. The movie, your work, the actors' work in the movie is the same. You have a mark, you have to walk there, you have to say your lines, and you have to be so convincing, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to feel what the script needed and what the director need that you do. And then it's the same in everywhere, you know. The industry is another thing, you know. The Bond industry, the stage of Bond, amazing. But the moment when the actor play his role,
when it comes down to your specific character, it's the same no matter what.
It's the same, yes. Yeah, no matter what, yes.
Interesting. And you got another film premiering in September is Compadres.
Compadres, yes.
Talk about that one a little bit. What that was like.
I play a short role. I play a really bad guy there. I kill.
Going back. You're saving the world now in the strain and going back to being the bad guy.
I kill a lot of people. But no, it's a comedy. It's an action comedy. It's a Mexican movie, but it's going to have its premiere in September here in the U.S.
Okay.
And it's a movie in English. It has an American actor and a Mexican actor in the main roles.
Okay. Co-stars.
Yeah, and it's very, very funny. The Mexico, the movie had his premiere maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago, but now it's going to have his premiere here in the U.S. and it's a very funny movie. And my role is a short role, but you have to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. What I've appreciated in talking with you is that you seem very real, and even saying, you know, I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
And hearing about the roles you said that you've kind of gotten, and it's just, you know, it's you kind of going with it as it kind of comes. Is that kind of where do you see kind of the future? Is there things that you would like to do? Is there, you know, hopes of you would like to be a certain character or be in a certain type of movie, or what do you see? Or is it kind of just taking the opportunities as they come? As you said, you never thought, you know, you would be where you are, and who knows what the future holds.
Well, every actor said that, but the best role is the next one. What I want is to play, to act, to work, creating a human, a role. Is what I want. I don't know where. Obviously, to act a character in English for a man that speaks his original language is Spanish is really hard. You know, it's really hard. I remember now, James Bond, Daniel Craig had a short line in Spanish in Quantum. You didn't understand nothing. He said, it's very hard to act, to play in another language.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Unless you're ordering a Taco Bell.
Yes, exactly.
Then I know what to say.
Yeah. And then obviously I prefer to talk about my Mexican stories, but obviously I love to work in another place. Then, what kind of movie I want to do? What I like is to play. You know, it's so difficult to play a role. It's so hard, and then the next one is the best.
How often do you still do theater or live stage? Is that still something that you do frequently?
No, I have maybe more than 2 years without no playing theater, because I was working only I'm working in movies, movies and TV shows, and then I miss it a lot, and I think I need it because as I told you, it's your body need the theater. You know?
And it's helped you out in so many of your other roles.
Yes, of course.
To be able to get into that character and be able to be believable as that character and let the audience see you.
Yes. I think it's the real school of the actor, because you learn how to create a character because you have the time. You create a character maybe in 1 month or a month or in 2 months. Slowly, you get building the human body, the ideas, the thought of the character, and then in the cinema and the movies you have to work so fast. Then you have to learn to play in another way, more effective and more faster.
Yeah,
faster.
I think I think a lot of actors kind of have that same feeling now, and a lot of the main ones. I mean, I can think of Kevin Spacey right off the top of my head, who they do theater to do something else, to be able to really challenge themselves and to be able to grow and learn how to portray a character like that. I mean, I can think of a lot of actors that have done that, done theater to continue to grow as an actor.
Yes, I agree with that. I was thinking in Pacino also. No, Pacino, he's an actor.
Yeah.
A theater actor. And yes, it's what I think, because like a theater actor, you have to make a big esfuerzo, effort, because it's a physical effort. It's very clear, because just in when you are doing a movie, you talk this way, as loud as this way. slowly, like in the real life. Hey,
Yeah,
how are
because
you?
they have a microphone here. They
Yes.
have a microphone up top.
Yes, and the reality that you have to create in a movie is like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, how are you? But in a stage, when you have 100 or 50 people, you have to talk and they
have to
have
project.
to project. Yes, and you have to be natural. You don't have to scream. Ah! No, you have to talk, but they have to hear you. And then it's very hard to work in theater, but you need it. The actor need it because your body, your blood, your mind need it.
Interesting. Well, hey, thank you very much for
no.
joining us. Coming out in September, Compadres, La Delgada Línea Amarillo, The Thin Yellow Line, is also coming out. And, of course, August 28th, The Strain, Season 3.
Yes.
Joaquin,
Thank you.
so much
No, Michael,
for
thank you so
joining
much.
us.
Miguel,
It
gracias.
was
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias to you as well. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Spotlight On. Have a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.